All right, you guys, it's Sunday. I'm back on the beat. I got the bumper back off of it. I want to get this thing painted, but you guys know I'm gonna move this little oil cooler radiator. I want to mount it right in here, you guys. So I'm working on putting plates in here. I still want this thing to flow, but I want it to be kind of filled in. So I'm making some plates. So I got my cardboard here, and I cut out my cardboard to fill in this hole. I'm starting on this one, then I'm going to do this one, then the outside ones. I may or may not do this one. I don't know yet. I haven't decided. This one has to be done for sure because I need something to protect that because I'm going to move it down into this hole. It's probably going to be tilted back at an angle that way inside of there. So I'm going to make some kind of plate to plate this off out of aluminum. You guys know I made a Dimple die, so I've wanted to try it. So I also got this, you guys. So this is a Harbor Freight. It is a hole punch set. So it has an, jeez, that scared the crap out of me. It's got an upper and lower dive. So this is the cutting side. This is the side that takes the puck. So it goes this way and it punches that through. So I've never tried this before. I tried it, you guys. Look what it did. Stripped my bolt out. This thing's a piece of junk. So I originally started with this hole saw. This hole saw got me to the size I needed to drill this out so that I could punch it. This is oh man, it seems counterproductive to me because I'm drilling a hole out to this size so that I could punch a good hole with this cutter. The bolt doesn't work. It's straight. You can see I've put spacing on it. So I had this laying around. I dropped that on there once, then I did it again, and I just keep stripping the bolt out. I thought maybe the material was too heavy. This is only 16 gauge aluminum, you guys. It's like, it should punch this no problem. The guy that had it before me says right here, 10 gauge max mild steel. There's no way this could do it. Unless I'm doing something wrong here. If it's stripping that bolt out that easy, I don't believe it. So I got through a majority of my holes, you guys. Then I actually used this and put it in my vise and used it like my vise like a press, and I pressed the last hole. I feel like this is really counterproductive, drilling all these holes to punch out a hole. So literally what I did is I found a hole saw right there that matches my Dimple die. I had to try this a little bit, you guys. So this is a panel I'm making. You can kind of see I've Dimple dyed that one, that one, that one. I got those 3 left to do. So that's going to be my panel right there to allow airflow into that radiator. What did I do with that? What was I going to show you guys? Oh boy. I totally forgot now. Anyways, so that hole saw is the same size as that arbor. So I hole sawed I made it through 4 of them. And then this one I hole sawed kind of partially because it was kind of partially punched through when I stripped the rest of that bolt out. And then the last one I actually just used a hole saw. So I feel like drilling a hole to punch it to Dimple die it is so counterproductive. Like if I had an iron worker, I could just punch this, use my Dimple die it. So essentially I'm going to use my hole saw. I'm going to hole saw it, then I'm going to Dimple die it. But yeah, honestly the Dimple die I made is like worked really good, you guys. I like it. It's pretty simple. It actually kind of gives it a radius. Let me show you how I kind of built this thing. You guys may have seen this on one of the other videos, but literally there's no angle on this. This is just a counter bore on the top die. So that goes this way. Then on my lower die, you can see my angles built into my lower die right there. So it's flat, angled, and then has the shaft. The shaft matches this hole. The counter bore goes on top of that angle. And as that angle pushes into that counter bore, that's what dimples it. The one thing it does do, you guys, it actually makes this more of a radius and like a sharp corner. Like a lot of Dimple dies out there, or the top and bottom dies have that same angle on it, so that it's like a real crisp angle. The only reason I did it this way is I don't have to compensate for the material. This hole is bigger than that, so you can use whatever thickness material you want and actually Dimple die it. Like if I really wanted to, I might be able to put this in like a press and actually press this like with 10 gauge 3/16 maybe, and it would still form because there's enough clearance in this backside. A little bit different than like buying like factory ones, because they all have the same angle. They compensate for the thickness material and it'll only do one size of material kind of deal. This one should do a lot of different sizes. But the problem with it is I only have one, and it's like a 1-inch die. So I got a bunch of 1-inch holes and I've dimple dyed them. They look pretty cool. I like them. It does leave a little bit crisp edge on the back side where it drops into that counter bore. I'm hoping you guys can see that. It kind of leaves just a little tool mark right there on the edge. But I mean, it really stiffens this panel up, you guys, and it looks cool. So we're gonna get this one made, we'll get the other side made, and we'll start working on those other ones. I just kind of wanted to show you guys what I was doing, how I was doing it, and why I was doing what I was doing, because this thing kind of sucks for me right now. I'm not a huge fan of this bolt. I have a feeling in the future I'm going to modify these, because they do work all right, but I still feel like hole sawing it, or actually maybe I'll adapt these to a plate for my press so I can mount this in the top and this one in the bottom, and it'll just press right through itself instead of having to drill a hole for this bolt. I don't know, I feel like hole sawing is just like, especially in aluminum, hole saw it, dimple die, it's just way quicker. So that's kind of what I'm working on. Maybe I'll walk this over here and show you guys what it kind of looks like. I got a couple of these holes made, but yeah, essentially this is gonna go in here, you guys, at a little bit of an angle. I'm gonna have them recessed in a ways. This will allow the airflow through the bottom part of the radiator down here on my beeps or my intercooler. And it'll kind of finish off this bumper so you don't just see these gaping holes. Like I said, there'll be one here, and then there'll be one on this side over here, and I'm gonna fill out in these outside ones. You guys, honestly, I just mainly wanted to try my dimple die. I wanted to dimple die something so bad. So my dimple die works great though. I am like super excited about it. I built one in the past, you guys, and it was a lot smaller. It was like a 3/4. It never really worked super great. I built a press. Yeah, there's my other one right there. Let me see if I can get around to it. I built this one a long time ago. It's not as good as this one. This one works really good. This is actually a whole dimple die press that I made. Oh, let's see if I can get to it. Yeah, so this is a press that I made with a bottle jack. Kind of had the same concept. My upper die is a little bit different though. It kind of has a pilot, and it's just a chamfer. This kind of worked okay. We may revisit this, see if we can use this on our punch set, and maybe this new dimple die set will work on it too. I don't know. This is kind of nice because it's mobile, you guys. Like, I can put this in the fender of a car if I want. It doesn't have to be in a machine, so it's kind of handy. I literally ran it through with just a ratchet and a socket. It worked pretty well. I mean, obviously, I mean, you guys can see what I got going on here, and it's very subtle. It's not like a extreme amount, but I like the subtleness of it. It's just enough to make this panel have some character. Hopefully you can kind of see it. Oh yeah, there we go. It's just enough, you guys. Yeah, so we're gonna get the rest of these done, and got to figure out some way to mount these in there. So drop that bad boy in there. Wish I had somewhere to. I really need to get a tripod one of these days, and a new camera. We'll see if that'll work. Hope you guys can see me. Top die. Where'd I put them? Good. Oh geez, right there the whole time. Dude. One good thing I like about it, this being flat, as it dimples the panel, this is so much bigger and flatter, it actually flattens the panel. Once it dimples it, it flattens it back out. So the distortion in it this way is very minor, you guys. A lot of dimple dies I see out there seem to like distort the panel a little. This one doesn't seem to do that very bad, so I'm digging that for sure. And I like it because I built it. I didn't just buy it, it's something I built, a tool that I built that works. I like that, it's just cool. And you guys can see this pretty quick. I mean, I'm just using a ratchet, so. Yeah, this is what I'm talking about. As this lower die and this upper die become flat, since it's so much bigger than the actual hole itself, because this is like 1 inch, this is like 2 1/8, it actually flattens out the outside of this panel instead of distorting it as you're like dimple dyeing this. It looks like on what I can see online when you dimple dye with a normal dimple dye, it doesn't actually flatten this panel out and you get a little bit of distortion. This one actually flattens the panel back out. It works very well. I am actually pretty excited about this thing. I'm going to use this thing a lot, especially because I built it. It's just awesome to me. Yeah, it's pretty rad. I mean, that thing is really consistent. And it's funny, I thought maybe it would be like a little bit out of alignment from the center hole to where the chamfer is on the actual dimple die. It centered that thing up very well, you guys. I'm digging it. It's working very well so far. And the panel's freaking straight too. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm going for, you guys. That'll kind of be in there somewhere. I think I'm going to leave that center one open. I'm just going to do this one, that one right there, and then the outer two. I might leave that center one open because you can see these are my bolts that hold my grill down. I don't know. I might fill it in. We'll see. But yeah, looks pretty cool. I like it like inset like that too. And that should give me plenty of airflow for the intercooler and everything going through there. I'm not sure how far I'm going to set this back, you guys, because I could set it all the way back to there if I wanted. This is kind of irrelevant here with the bar going through there. It doesn't really do anything. This is more for looks in that area, but if I only inset it about 3/4 of an inch, maybe an inch, it should still let some air flow through there, top and bottom. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm going to go for, you guys. Like I said, we're going to fill these outer ones too. Let me get the other panel cut and I'll try to record me actually cutting, laying everything out. Yeah, kind of neat. I like it so far. Hey guys, I made it a little ways here. I kind of wanted to show you the progress. Tripped over the beep. Still tripping over the beep. We don't have a big enough shop. All right, this is where we made it, you guys. So I've got this put in here. I got my panel in there. Now you can kind of see it's giving me some grading. You'll see it kind of similar to that. The lighting's kind of hitting a little funny, so it looks offset here, you guys. This is a shadow right here. Let me see if I can tip it up. Maybe that'll help. Wow, don't fall off. Hold on. Maybe that didn't help any, but I almost dropped it off there, so that was comical. Yeah, it didn't help at all. I had to show you what I was doing here. My GoPro, imagine this. It died again. Ha! Recorded like about 15 minutes. Anyways, back to this. So this is what I've done, you guys. So here's my panel. Sorry for the middle finger, I didn't mean to. So you can see I got a couple self-tapping screws there and a couple on the other side. I lined them up with my dimple dies. And the reason I did that is I put these little plates on the back. I just used self-tapping screws on both sides. I screwed those in. And here's what it's gonna do. So, you guys see my panel? I got my 4 screws. That's my 4 screws from the front. So I'm literally gonna take this panel, flip it around, and I've measured back 1.5 inches right here. You can see there's a line right there. That's 1.5 inch line from the front in. So I'm gonna line that up just like that, and then I'm gonna tack those plates from the back side, you guys. From the back side over here. Back this way. I'm gonna tack those plates from the back side. Then I'm gonna pull this aluminum plate off, and I'm gonna weld these out from the back side just so I can kind of see what's going on from whatever side I'm welding from. But that'll give me somewhere to screw those plates into. Then as you can see, it's starting to make like a grating. It'll allow airflow through there, but it'll kind of finish off this bumper. I'm honestly kind of contemplating making like a curved, like kind of funnel right here. We'll see if I do that or not. It was a thought I had, but I don't know. I might just leave it open, or I might block that off completely, or it might be a panel like one of these two. But like I said, I still got to do these outside too. But that's kind of where I'm at. Now you guys can see how I'm screwing these in. What's gonna hold those in place. These panels are pretty rigid now that I've put these dimple dies in here, you guys. Like, that thing don't move at all. I mean, the dimples, you can see that's only 16 gauge, and it's made that like super strong just by putting the dimple dies in there. And that's the whole function of a dimple die, you guys. Take super thin metal and you can make it a heck of a lot stronger. So this is more like 1/4 inch now instead of like 16 gauge. Yeah, well, that might be a little extreme, maybe 8. But yeah, it's literally just made it structurally stronger this way. And it's like super easy to pull out, you guys. So when I go to paint this bumper, I'll pull these out, pull these 4 screws out, pull the plates out, paint it, and then I can re-bolt them right back in. Yeah, super simple. We'll see if I keep these self-tapping screws. I'm just kind of using them. They may stay permanently, or I may do something else. It's just, I just needed to get those backers in there so I had something to screw into. So it's kind of where I'm at. I'm gonna get this one tacked and welded in from the backside, and then I'll start working on these outside too, and then figuring out what I'm gonna do here. I may do like a scoop. I don't know. We'll see what happens, you guys. I'm kind of winging this as I'm going. I'm just trying to be creative and try some new stuff that you guys haven't seen me do before, and that honestly I haven't done a whole lot myself. Like these dimple dies, it's the second time I've done it. The first attempt was a little rough. My new dimple die is pretty awesome. So yeah, we'll get that plate in, and then I'll get back to you guys when I start doing these ones. These are gonna be a little different, you guys, because you can see we have our round tube here. This plate angles back, but the bottom one is straight. Hopefully you can see that. Yeah, this one's straight, this one angles. So putting this aluminum plate in here, it may be straight up and down. Well, it's gonna probably match this angle here. So we literally got straight, angle, angle. So we'll see how this turns out. I definitely want to put that radiator in that side over there. So I may have to unhook this, and hopefully I don't dump a bunch of oil everywhere. But I may have to unhook that, make some mounting brackets in here, and extend those lines before I can get all this kind of figured out. We'll see what happens, you guys. But that's kind of where I'm at. I'm gonna get that one mounted, and then I'll get back to you guys here. So I wanted to show you, so you can see here's my, this is 1 inch by 1/8, 1 inch by 1/8 on each side. Those are my brackets just to bolt that panel in. So you can kind of see, so I bolted them, use self-tapping screws to bolt this aluminum panel to my brackets. I set it in there at 1.5 inches. Sorry, it's 1.25 inches. I said 1.5 inches earlier, it's 1.25 inches. Right here, I measured from the front back. Slid that in, lined up the bottom, wherever the top touched, that's where I tacked these in at, from the back side over here, you guys. I welded everything from the back side. It's nothing structural. It's just literally holding these panels in here to make this look cool. But it literally, like I said, it's 8x1. They're self-tapping screws. It's just enough to hold those panels in there and make them strong enough and look cool. I mean, that thing's got this like super cool vibe to it. I like it. And we're gonna keep going with this, but I wanted to show you guys what I was kind of doing. That's literally all it is, you guys. 1 inch by 8. We're gonna start working on, we're probably gonna do this side. I'm gonna have to do a lot of measurement because I got to make that fit in there, because I got to protect this thing. That's the main reason these aluminum panels are going in here. I want to be able to protect that and still let it breathe. Same with all this. So yeah, I'm gonna have to do some measuring, you guys, and see where I get. I want to make sure that fits in there because I want it in there. I don't want it hanging out here, because literally that spot is like, that radiator is like right up here and it looks stupid. I don't like where it's at. In a BMW, the fender covers that, and they have venting that goes through and out the back side of the fender, inner fender well. I want it in there. So that's kind of what I'm working towards. I'm going to try to get it to fit in there. We're going to put that panel back in just so I can kind of see what it looks like. Like I said, it's super easy. It's only 4 screws holding that in there. Then we're probably going to start measuring out for this side, you guys. I'm really trying to get everything done so I can get this painted and bolted on here, because I want to move on to getting my supports in for my grill and hooking all this BMW stuff back up, all this stuff. I don't know what any of it does or what it is, but this needs to be grounded for sure. There's one on each side. And yeah, we got, obviously we're missing a horn, but we got 1 horn, so that's what we're gonna go with. We may just cut these off and just have 1 horn, or maybe I'll figure something out down the road. What else we got? Yeah, so here's our other ground side. Headlights, I'm assuming. But yeah, I really want to get the grill of this Jeep mounted. I need that bumper on there because my grill mounts to that. Then I can get this upper supports in, and then we can start moving backwards to the B-pillar and onto that area that I don't want to do with it. So that's kind of where we're at, you guys. Let me get this panel put in here and we'll start working on this. I couldn't take it. I had to put the bumper on there. I'm not even close to done, but I had to see what it looked like. It looks rad. I like it a lot. I think I'm gonna put a piece of aluminum right here, you guys, going at an angle. And I'm gonna put a little piece of grating right back here just to kind of break this up, because I love the Dimple dies. They're freaking awesome, but I just want something a little more unique. And I'm probably gonna do the same thing over here, but a little bit different pattern. Just kind of want to fill that in to protect that. You guys can see now that little mini oil cooler radiator, blah, 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 whatever. It's gonna go in here. I'm gonna tilt it back at an angle. I'm gonna stuff it in that Formula 1 corner of that bumper. That's gonna be its new home. I'm gonna have to figure out how to extend the lines and all that jazz, but I had to put it up here and see what it looked like, you guys. I like it a lot. I hope you guys do too. This is a little out of my realm, but I think it's awesome. I hope you guys are digging it and keep watching. I'm gonna keep hacking on this thing. It is cool. I'm contemplating running another bar up here, you guys, because I like this right here, but I can feel it moving just ever so slightly. I'm like $185, I think, maybe. I don't even know if I'm that, but I can definitely feel it moving, you guys. Like, this is the only spot it's mounted. It's those 4 bolts and this bar coming down, holding all that bumper. So I might tie a bar or a plate, something back here, maybe a triangle. I'm not quite sure. Literally, I probably don't need it. I have a tendency to overbuild stuff, but at least my stuff don't break. I mean, that's a prime example. I've rolled that thing twice and nothing moves on it. So I'd hate to hit a parking bar and this thing move at all. So I might look at adding something down the road. Not right now, you guys. I'm gonna try to get this together so we can get moving backwards. So you guys can see, I really want to build this roll cage, you guys. I am just it's just, I want to get it done. I want to build some super awesome roll cage so you guys can see some like fabrication of a roll cage. You guys can see I've done it a few times, but this one's gonna be pretty neat, I think. Rock bouncer-esque, maybe? Esque. So we'll see where we get, but dude, the bumper's turning out awesome. I stayed home from work today. It's like Tuesday. Sanding on some aluminum, so I'm a little tin man-ish. I'm a little silver. So I stayed home from work. I wasn't feeling very good. Yesterday I actually left early. My back's been really bugging me. It went out. I pretty much, from about my neck down, everything just hurt. So I may have caught just a little bit of a bug, or maybe just overdid it skiing, I don't know. But I wasn't feeling great. Went to the chiropractor, got my back adjusted. I'm going back again today. But I slept pretty much yesterday from about 2:30 all the way until the day about 9:30. I only woke up like 2 or 3 times maybe. I was just done, you guys. I was beat. Anyway, so I'm feeling a little better, so I came out to the shop. I did a little bit of work today. I'm trying not to overdo it, but I'm just trying to stay working too. So we're back on the Uppbeat bumper here. I'm making this panel for over here. It's gonna fill in this space here. It's gonna go somewhere. This thing's a little tight. It's gonna go somewhere in there. I haven't dimple dyed it yet because I wanted to show you guys. So this piece I just sanded with my orbital sander. I ran out of sanding disc for it, so I switched over to my actual sander for sanding on wood. I didn't like the finish it gave me, so I actually went through. I don't know if you can tell the difference here, you guys, but you can see how this kind of actually has like a grit to it, like it's been sanded. This looks more like a polished finish. What I did, I took some red Scotch-Brite and I literally just been running it on it, whoa, like that. Almost polishing this. I just wanted to see the difference. You guys let me know which one you like better. We'll go with that. I don't really care either way. This one's a lot easier to maintain because you can pop this out, just resand it, it's good to go. This, I'm literally running by hand on there. I'm sure there's a better way to do it, but currently that's what I'm doing. It just kind of gives it a polished look. The only problem with it is if you have any big marks in there, you can kind of see them. I could come back through once I get my sanding disc. I could sand this smooth, then come back and buff it, and it'll look all right. You won't see all those little scratches, but you can also kind of see, you guys, the pattern on this. I've actually made these two go downhill because it's just of the shape of that. I just thought it looked better. So you guys comment below, tell me if you like the polished or the sanded. That's what we'll go with. I don't really care either way, but we're gonna get that mounted in there. It's gonna go somewhere about yay-ish, somewhere. But I got the tab made for this side. I got to figure out what I'm gonna do on this side to make my tab, and see if I need one in the middle once I get some dimple dyed. It's a lot bigger span than it was here, so this is pretty rigid. We'll see what happens to this one, but I'm gonna get these holes dimple dyed. I still have to make the other side over here. I'm probably only gonna get this one done today, you guys, and then I'm gonna call it quits. I'm already getting a little tired just because I'm not feeling great. So, yeah, let me get these dimple dyed. Wow, sorry. Make sure I got the dimple dye going the right way. is really close to fitting together. I mean, that hole is pretty spot on. I'm gonna go try it in my press, see what happens. That was a blonde moment. Yeah, that totally works, you guys. I think that was the original reason I made it with a pilot. So it has a pilot that actually goes into that hole, you guys. Yeah, that was stupid of me. Blonde moment. But yeah, the bolt is mainly like if you're doing like if you're on the car and you want to like actually use it to like put a dimple die in a fender, in a body panel, door panel, whatever you want, you'd totally use it with the nut. It works really good with the press. So I don't know why I wasn't doing that before. Oh God, dude, that's how my brain's been working lately. Slow motion. Slow motion. But yeah. So now I got them holes. I'll hit it with the scotch thread again because you can see it left kind of tool marks where it actually pressed against that die. That was a lot of dimple dies in that panel and it flexed it just a little bit. So I'm gonna flip it this way and I'm gonna kind of flatten it out just a little bit. You guys kind of push on this bumper, flatten this thing out just a little so that I can get that bad boy mounted in there. Yeah, it looks pretty cool next to the other one. I like it. I like how the into down there kind of go downhill. Yeah, it'll be a good spot. It'll let air through there for that radiator because I'm going to mount that radiator in there. Yeah, it should be pretty awesome.